Recording in progress.
I extend a warm welcome to everyone present, both online and offline, and special welcome to our Area Director Toastmaster Sriram and Assistant Area Directors Toastmaster Aditya Gopalakrishnan, Program Quality, and Toastmaster Aditya Menon, Area PR. First up, we'll start off with a business session. I request Vice President Education Gaurav to please update on the role takers for the next meeting.
Very good evening to all the Toastmasters and all the guests. So these are the roles that have been booked for the next meeting. Master ceremonies have been booked by Toastmaster Jyoti. Speaker 1 has been booked by Toastmaster Balakrishna. And Speaker 2 has been booked by DTM Pradanta. And our counter has been booked by Toastmaster Kami. Apart from this, all other roles are open. Interested members can contact me anytime and help you guys in booking the roles. And one more thing before I give it to the president, I've been observing this as I add new members in the Google groups, your guys are getting my mails in the spam. So I request go to the spam, and once you find my mail, there'll be one button called report it as not a spam. So if you click on it, you'll be getting more mails frequently. So there's many members have been facing this lot of things between
Now, I would like to give the updates on the Club Officers Training Program that we attended on the 17th of July last week. We had individual sessions for the Club Officers first, and then formal sessions for all of us together. In the present briefing session, DPM Naina Jairaj leads us and explained the role of the president in the club meetings with the executive committee and with respect to area and district council, wherein the president is in touch with the respective officers and also attend the meetings whenever they are called for. DPM Naina also mentioned that the president should welcome the guests in the meeting and also receive their feedback. The president should be aware of the events happening in the area, district, and division levels and encourage the members to participate in the same. Membership and member and club achievements to be recognized in the club should have a vision for the term and educate the members regarding the distinguished club program. To have a club success plan and have a MOT session and educational session. In the common sessions which were held for all the club officers together, we had DPM Arjun Sundaraj updating us on the DCP, dashboard and Club Central and how we can access the information. We had DPM Subramaniam explaining about the membership building program. We had Toastmaster Ashwin enlightening us on the moments of growth and club success plan. We had Toastmaster Abhijit Singh explaining about the various criteria for the awards and initiatives of District 121. I now request Vice President Education Toastmaster Gaurav to give a brief update on the training program.
Thank you, Toastmaster Levan and a very good evening once again. So as a VP, I learned that as a VP, my role is to find role papers for the meeting and prepare agenda for the same, to be a district manager and file awards, educational awards, track DCP status, encourage members to set goals and provide support for the same, plan and organize educational and club contests, ensure meeting variety, encourage members to attend meetings in other clubs and take up roles in other clubs as well. And when the president is not present in the meeting, to shadow and be the acting president. It is correct to add it over to the membership Toastmasters Council.
I now request Vice President Public Relations Toastmaster Bhavani to give her update on the training program.
Thank you, Madam President, Toastmasters Lalana. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As Vice President Public Relations, my duty and role is beyond making posters. I shall ensure that the club's social media in different forms of Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and including the club website, is maintained and is up to date. I ensure that all the posters or everything related to Toastmasters shall be according to the branding guidelines of Toastmasters International. It is not only about publicizing inside the club, but taking it outside Toastmasters and promoting what is Mekong Communication Club as well as Toastmasters International outside. So I also ensure and encourage and inform the members of Mekong to attend various events outside our area, our division, or as well as our district. We publish a newsletter in every quarter, and I also work with the vice president membership to plan and promote different membership building programs such as open house or speech crafts. Ensure that I attend the XCOM meetings regularly. With that, I hand it over to the Secretary, Toastmaster Shiv Prasad Sharma.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. As the secretary in the Club Officers Training Program, I learned that I have to maintain all club documents and records, prepare minutes of meeting of every meeting, share it with all the members, track the attendance of members with the attendance sheet, assisting the VP education and VP membership in maintaining the club roster and tracking member achievements, helping to submit the education rewards in base camp, helping in the executive committee meetings and prepare minutes of meeting of those meetings, assigning a proxy for the Toastmasters International annual business meeting in July, assisting VP membership in collecting dues and submitting them on time, submit the club officers list by December 31st, and appoint associates and prepare successors. With that, I'd like to hand it over to the Sergeant at Arms, Mr. Sandhu.
So, at the club officers training program, I learned as the sergeant at arms, I am supposed to set up the meeting, ensure the safekeeping of all the club property, display meeting agenda, and act as a liaison between the club and the management of the meeting place, and display gavel, banners, charter certificates, trophies, ribbons, etc. And I would also have to manage the guest register, stationery, and other promotional handouts, and arrange ballots after every meeting, and track the status of supplies ordered by the secretary, and also attend the EXCOM meeting. With that, I hand it over back to President. Thank you all the club officers for giving their brief reports. That is it with the business session. I now hand it over back to the sergeant. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome, dear guests. And as usual, before we start off, please keep your phones on silent for the rest of the meeting so that we have a smooth set. Are we done? Okay. So today's theme is face the fear, it goes, avoid it grows. Somehow I don't agree with this theme. Because I have a fear of dogs. And I've done everything to get over that fear. And the best way to get over it was to avoid it. The first step I took was to go to the dog park in Kabul Park. So there, all the dog owners from Bangalore get their dogs, different breeds. It's been a learning of its own. And you can go pet those dogs. Okay. So I started off with the Chihuahua. Of course, it was very misleading, but yeah.
So I had to pet the dog. There was no owner around. And I didn't want to say doggy, doggy. And very disrespectful. So I didn't know its name. Okay. Then I was looking for a tag and it said Darshan. I was like, what is strange name for dog, Darshan? Like, Darshan, Darshan. Owner came. Oh, it's the owner. That was not the only time I embarrassed myself with Darshan. Next week I went again. This time there were so many huskies, around 8, 9 huskies. They just started playing around me. It was like 9 circles of hell. And incidentally, Darshan was sitting in front of me, and I didn't know it was Darshan. And I went and held him. And Darshan gave me the most something that I remember forever because I stopped going to the park after that. So after this small step towards getting over my fear in dog did not help, honestly. Then I used to go to yoga in the morning. Then there were some street dogs that were sleeping very calm. So I thought, okay, they're fine, nothing to worry about. And they started chasing me. So every time I realize, the more I face these fears, I can actually get eaten by people. So the fear is, it's not a mental thing, it's actually physical thing. We can buy it very easily. So today, I really want to listen to all of you, and at least I hope you can give me some tips how to get rid of the fear, and especially our president, because I'm sure she'll have some life lessons and stories to tell us. She's been leading the Gavel Club for about a year now, and that is for young adults. So imagine the number of stories they have shared together. And also she's an avid reader, so I cannot wait to listen to our beloved president. So let's welcome her with a huge round of applause.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I see some guests here. I request you to introduce yourself and tell us how you came to know about Vietnam Foundation. Krishnan, hi.
I'm working for Place as an employer. I do telecalling sales to stores. I wanted to become a public speaker. So I got it from Google.
Okay, thank you, Sushmita. Welcome, sir. You can introduce yourself again because till you become a member of our club, you are a guest in our club. So I think this is your third meeting and we are looking to forward to having you as a member.
My name is Lakshmi. I am a software engineer. I work, some, I take a break from now I started working there. So, I look forward to learning public speaking and to not be so, held back and little nervous about public speaking. So I learned about Toastmasters. I knew about Toastmasters, so a very long time ago, I examined 2 sessions, and then I stopped. When I knew about it, I looked up what was further doing. Look forward to learning.
Excellent. Yeah, you and me?
I work for. I used to work like I work for.
I think and of course our old Toastmaster Jeevita.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Jeevita. I joined this club to become a fine speaker and today I make money out of speaking. Thanks to Toastmaster. So this is what the journey has brought me. And I feel COVID gave us that break of because I don't like anything online and I don't. took a break. And now that we are offline, I think all the old members are back and the rooms are full, bursting out of energy. And I think we all are back to the bank with offline meetings. We need a lot of old members now.
Thank you, Jivika. We are looking forward to having you back with us, and I think you are an inspiration to all the budding Toastmasters who are likely to join and who have already joined us. And Toastmaster Ravi Kumar is also our old Toastmaster. He can introduce himself.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Ravi Kumar. Toastmaster for 5 years. I took a break with permission. With my 3 years. And I look forward to joining you all as soon as possible. Thank you very much. To be very nice to be among you.
We look forward to having you back with us. I now request Toastmaster Shiv Prasad to read the minutes of the previous meeting.
Evening, my fellow Toastmasters and guests. Here are the revised minutes of meeting number 1171 held on the 18th of July 2020. The theme was "It's Dawn Again, Word of the Week, Yonder." Business session started at 6:35 p.m. and was chaired by the President Toastmaster Lalana Murthy. In the business session, the following points were addressed on behalf of the Vice President Education. President mentioned that apart from the 2 speech slots, 1 individual evaluator and master of ceremonies, all other roles were open for the next meeting, and interested members were requested to contact Vice President Education Toastmaster Gaurav for the same. The President mentioned that 6 executive committee members had attended the COTP, the Club Officers Training Program, conducted in person on the 17th of July 2022. President also appreciated the participation of DTM Subramaniam, DTM Udanka, Toastmaster Sai Snell, Toastmaster Bhavani, and Toastmaster Shiva Prasad in the same event. The regular meeting started at 6:37 p.m. Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Sanjana H.A. started the meeting with an introduction about the theme and later handed over the charge to President Toastmaster Lalana. President opened the meeting, spoke on the theme, and introduced the Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Sashikant. Master of Ceremonies spoke on the theme and introduced the following role takers for the day: the timer Toastmaster Vaishnavi, our counter Toastmaster Pavani Katta, grammarian Toastmaster Pavani Sia, and TP evaluator Toastmaster Zulekha. The prepared speech session had the following speeches. First one by Toastmaster Jyoti Rao, giving her level 1 project 1 and was evaluated by Toastmaster Arundhati. And second one, Toastmaster Sai Snell Reddy, giving his level 4 project 1 and was evaluated by Toastmaster Balaji AS. The table topic session was conducted by DTM Udanka and had the following speakers: Toastmaster Vijay Upendra, Toastmaster Sarane Prasad, DTM AK Prabhakar, Toastmaster Gaurav, Toastmaster Balaji CS, Toastmaster Rasmi Joshi, Toastmaster Sanjana Prapanjan, Toastmaster Balakrishna, Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa, Toastmaster Ujjwal, and Toastmaster Mohammed. The general evaluation was conducted by DTM MU Bhatt. The winners of the week were Best Prepared Speaker Toastmaster Jyoti Rao, Best Evaluator Toastmaster Balaji AS, Best Table Topic Speaker Toastmaster Balaji CS, Best Role Taker Tap G Toastmaster Vaishnavi H, and Best Role Taker MTG DTM MU Bhatt. The President closed the meeting at 8:40 p.m. Thank you, and back to you, President.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shiv Prasad. Do you have any amendments to the meeting minutes? If not, I will consider it as accepted and open meeting number 1172. You will never know courage and success if you do not face your fears. All of us experience various kinds of fears at different stages of our lives. In school, we feared our exams when we were not prepared for it. As adults, we fear making decisions whenever we are not sure when it is the right decision or the wrong decision. It may be regarding your job, the college you want to join, for instance, or even choosing a life partner. There are so many things, actually. Coming to Toastmasters, many of us have the fear of public speaking, and that is how we are all here today. Many times, fear of failure and fear of the unknown is what keeps us away from the opportunities available otherwise. There was this criminal who had committed a crime. Of course, that is his job to be criminal, right? And anyways, he was sent to the king to get his punishment. The king gave him two choices of punishment. He could either be hung by a rope or he could go behind a dark, scary, mysterious iron door. The criminal quickly chose the rope. And then, when he was about to be hung by the rope, as the noose was being flipped over him, he turned to the king and asked him, "Your Majesty, please tell me what is behind that door." The king laughed and said, "You know, it's so funny. I give the same choices to everyone every time, and most of the time, all of them tend to pick the rope." And again, this criminal asked him, "Sir, please tell me what is really behind that door." And the king paused and said, "There is freedom behind the door, but people are so afraid of the unknown that they always end up choosing the rope." Don't we all do that? We do not want to get out of our comfort zones, and we obviously want to stay with the familiar things and not risk the unknown. Let us embrace the freedom of picking new choices as they open the door to newer opportunities. Let us have the courage to face our fears and take away those invisible ropes that bind us in so many ways. To tell us more about the theme and to take the meeting forward, we have a Toastmaster who's been in the field of education for over 3 decades. She has been a teacher and a principal of esteemed educational institutions. She is a multifaceted personality and is a certified handwriting analyst and grapho-analytical therapist. She loves reading and enjoys traveling. She believes that age is just a number and she lives up to it. Please put your hands together and help me welcome the Master of Ceremonies for the day, Toastmaster Zulekha Begum. Happy evening, fellow Toastmasters and leaders. There was this master and his disciple. Both of them decided to travel. As they were passing through the jungle, by then the sun was setting. And then both of them decided not to travel further as it was dark and not safe for them. The master says to the disciple, "Let us rest here. While I go to sleep, you watch. And when you want to sleep, wake me up and I will watch you weekend." So they agreed on this term. The master goes to sleep. As he was sleeping, the disciple starts walking to and fro, watching for any danger coming across. As he was walking there, he encounters a monster there. And the monster screams at him, saying, "I'm going to eat you." The disciple being disciple, scared. The minute he gets scared, the monster expands larger in size. And then again, the monster, for one more time, he screams at him. And then the disciple gets scared. Whenever he gets scared, the monster grows even bigger. And for the third time, the monster screams at the disciple The disciple gets so much scared and he shouts, master and fail. Hearing this, the master wakes up and he sees the disciple. He mistakes him for sleeping and he starts walking towards him as it was his turn. And the monster again tries to scare the master. Master is a master. The master says, what do you want? And he is not scared of it. When he is not scared, the monster shrinks. And the next time, he again screams, I'm going to eat you up. He tries to scare the master. The master again asks him, what do you want? The monster shrinks again. And the third time. And finally, the monster becomes very small. The master picks the monster, ties him and the rope and keeps him. He cuts him off. And then it's dark. The disciple wakes up and they continue their journey from there. On the way, the disciple says, Monster, do you know what happened last night when you were sleeping? There was a monster. Master says, wait a minute. It's up and says, are you talking about this? He says, yes. Oh my God, he was so huge and suddenly. The master says, this monster represents the challenges of our life. When we face how you become larger and the challenges become smaller. And when you get scared of these challenges in your life, the monster, the problem becomes larger and you become small. So hence we say, face the fear, it goes, if you avoid, it goes, it monster. So all of us in life, and whatever profession we are into, at some point or the other, we had this fear of public speaking. Right now you can see my condition here. Okay. So to overcome this and to support all of us to become the great speakers of Toastmaster, we all have joined it. And Toastmasters is a non-profitable organization that started by around Steve Smedley in the year 1942 at YMCA in Santana, California headquarters. The purpose of this meeting to help its members improve their communication, public speaking, and the leadership skills. The organization started as a single club with few members. Today, we are 300,000 members in 149 countries, serving towards 15,800 member clubs. A typical Toastmaster meeting consists of 3 sessions. The first session, the prepared speech. As the name suggests, the speakers get time to prepare for a speech of their choice as per the guidelines of the manual. The second session is the table topic session. In this session, the table topic master will choose the speakers randomly and give a topic to which they need to respond in proper. The third session, this session is where the speeches and the proceedings of the meeting will be evaluated and the feedback will be given. To take this meeting forward, I have a few role takers who help me get through the meeting, and I request them to come here and tell us about their role. To begin with, I call upon the PPE evaluator, Toastmaster Balakrishnan.
Great evening, fellow Toastmasters and great guests. As per today's PP evaluator, I request speakers to refrain talking about sex, religion, and politics, and ask the members to switch on their cameras who are in online mode. Ask the offline members to keep their mobile silent mode. Anybody want to leave this meeting room should leave during the applause. And when master of ceremony calls, I'll give the PP evaluator report. Thank you. Thank you.
I request our founder, T.M. Pavlu.
The purpose of an accountant is to note any overused words or filler sounds used as such by anyone who speaks during the meeting. Words may be inappropriate interjections such as and, well, but, so, and you know. Sounds may be etc. I will give my report at the general evaluation session. Thank you very much.
Like to call Grenadian Toastmaster Jyoti.
Toastmasters and friends, I am Jyoti, have taken up the role for grammarian for the day.
How do you listen to this sentence? Open the doors of the windows and let the air forces come in to cool in the room. So to have a meaningful and sensible communication, grammar and usage of words play an integral part. I shall make a note of the good usages and not so good usages and give my report at the end of the during the general evaluation session used by the speakers of the day. Thank you, and over to the Toastmaster meeting.
Next, I request Toastmaster Sharani to talk about the list. Very good evening to all of the Toastmasters and welcome your guests. The tick of time never stops. Similarly, the tick of the timer also never stops. As a timer, my main goal is not to keep the track of time, but to ensure the importance of the time and how efficiently we can complete in the given stipulated time period. I will be timing to prepare key speakers, table topic speakers, and the evaluators. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red sign, which will also affect the time. First session and the prepared speech session, the time period is between 5 to 7 minutes. That's where they will work out. The table topic speaker should limit their remark to not more than 2 minutes. I will say green card at 1 minute, yellow card at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red card at 2 minutes. The next section is the evaluation session, which should be between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will be taking the green card. At 2 minutes 30 seconds, I will be taking the yellow card, and at 3 minutes, I will be taking the red card. Now, let us understand the importance of time and let us see how effectively we can all use time. I will be submitting my report when called upon by the general evaluator. Thank you and back to you. Now it's time for the prepared speeches. So before I call upon the first speaker, Toastmaster Vijay Sendra, I would request Toastmaster DTM Enuhar to read out the guidelines of level 3 project.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. This is a level 3 speech. It's about persuasive speaking. The purpose statement says the purpose of this project is for the member to understand the types of persuasive speeches and deliver a persuasive speech at a club meeting. Please note some additional points. The member will address a well-organized persuasive speech of any topic. The member may choose to appeal to emotion, ethic, or logic in his speech. The speech may be humorous or informative or any style the member may choose to. The speech should not be a report on the project itself. Time allowed 5 to 7 minutes. Back and all the best to the speaker and back to Madam Toastmaster.
Our first speaker, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra, is a BCom graduate. He has worked as a cost accountant with TVS Group, and he also has experience in agency electrical and financial planning. From 2019 onwards, he has been working as a succession planner. He is a certified lay counselor. Presently, he is pursuing paralegal course at IGNOU. His hobbies are reading books, meditation, and cooking. He is attempting level 3 project 1, titled Rethink, Redesign, and Rebuild Ocean.
Thank you, MP Zulaika, for a wonderful introduction. In recent times, we see high-rise buildings, low-rise character. In recent times, we see double income, increase in divorces. In recent times, we see broader highways, narrow viewpoint. In recent times, we see profits in businesses, shallow relationship. Good evening, Toastmasters. Welcome, guests. We all face crises in life. We have to face challenges also. How we face challenges? Rethink, redesign, and rebuild. How we do this? To do this, we need 3 things in life. Lifelong student, intense hard work, intuition capabilities to be used from one's own within. We all do that. But to be a student lifelong, one needs to keep eyes, ears, mind, heart open. Then only we will be in a position to know what is happening around us, so that we can get right type of information to take right type of decision. The sources of information could be expert advice, books, internet, so on and so forth. Expert advice. 14-year-old boy, Sachin Tendulkar, wanted to be a pace bowler initially. He went to MRS Pace Foundation for a selection process. The selector happens to be Dennis Tilley, one of the fastest bowlers in cricketing history. First day, Sachin bowled. Second day, he was supposed to bat. Dennis Tilley was sitting in a chair, observing various batsmen. Sachin came and took guard, faced 3 balls. Dennis Tilley stood up immediately, went up to Sachin, held his hand and told, "Forget pace bowling. I saw your grip. I saw your footwork. I saw your selection of shots. I see second batsman in you." Sachin knew from whom he is getting an expert advice. He rethought, redesigned, rebuilt his cricketing career. He became a legend. Coming to intense hard work, we all know TCS stories. Mr. Chandrasekharan, initially had 10,000 employees in government. He traveled 200 days in a year. Think of the intense hard work and the rethinking, redesigning, and recreating activities. Today, we see lakhs of employees working in the government. Coming to the intuition part of it. Vedanta, have you ever been to Kasturi Nagar? Have you not been a cafe there? No. Thank you. There is a cafe inaugurated in the month of March 2022. In that cafe, you can eat anything and everything free. The catch is not charge for the food, the time of the stay that you are in that cafe. Assuming that you are there for 20 minutes, you pay only 100 rupees. Look at the intuitive application. So he applied rethinking, redesign, and he is rebuilding. As a lay counselor myself, I used to get a lot of complaints from parents stating that my children are not listening to me. They are very finicky in nature. They are very adamant. That is one part of it. The second part is when I speak to children, they say, our parents are not understanding us. We are capable in one area. They are putting a lot of pressure on us to score marks only. What's really happening here? Parents, they need to understand children properly. They need to identify attribute in children. What do you mean by attribute? Attribute is an inherent quality of a child that comes naturally so that he or she could perform well in life. People normally want children, that is parents to be more precise, want children to score more marks. That is, if they want them to chase IQ. But by developing IQ, you become only employee. Whereas if EQ, emotional quotient, is not being taken care at all. This is the one thing which parents need to understand. They need to rethink, redesign, and rebuild. That is very important. So whatever might be the situation in life, we should be constantly thinking about rethinking, redesigning, and rebuilding so that we can make our lives better. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in repeating loudly. Rethink, redefine, rebuild. Thank you and back to you.
Before I invite our next speaker, Toastmaster Balaji, I would like to invite DPM Vedanta to come and read out the short address.
Good evening, everyone. The purpose of this project is for the members to practice developing and presenting a proposal. Not for the validator, that's me. The member completing this project has spent time developing a proposal for the same area of his life. The member will deliver a well-organized speech about his proposal. The proposal may be affect in any area of member's personal or professional or Toastmasters club. The member may present the entire proposal or aspect of it. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the member choose. The style of the speech should be pre-pointed. The speech is not a report on the content of the present or proposal project.
Balaji is a past VPPR, VPN, VPE, and past president of our club. He has completed his master's in electrical engineering from Virginia Tech. He is an electrical engineer by profession, working in the semiconductor industry. He is a passionate singer, attempting his level 3 project 1, present a proposal titled The Work Life for a Job.
Early to rise, early to bed makes a man healthy, wealthy, wise. All of us have heard this saying at some point of our life, but I really understood the true weight or the true meaning of the saying once I started working. Thank you, Madam MC and Living Fellow Toastmasters, and welcome them. What is this term we keep hearing about? Work-life balance. Well, according to me, if you are able to match all the commitments you have in your workplace, and on top of that, if you have time to spend with your loved ones, if you have time to pursue your hobbies, if you have time to give a speech behind the lecture, and most importantly, if you have time to work on your health and fitness, then you're supposed to be having a good work-life balance. I wonder, in the quest of always being available in our office and always being flexible to whatever the demands our management have, are we losing our edge? Instead of being a sharp axe which can cut the wood in one single blow, are we becoming a blunt axe which keeps on chopping the whole day to get the same amount of wood? Instead of spending time in an office where we can easily be replaced, we fail to spend enough time in the place where we are irreplaceable, that is our home. I wonder if we have a priority straight, and I was in an extremely fixated and in a situation of dilemma. When I started my first job, I used to have extremely long working hours. I thought this was just the learning phase and things would get better after that. But after 1 year, I realized nothing changed. And one other thing I realized was this was surely not sustainable. I just cannot work like this for 3 years or how many ever years I was supposed to if I was going to work this way. I thought to myself, let me take a time off. So I took a break for 5 days and went to my mother and explained my predicament. I told her that I was feeling burnt out and becoming very tough in office. She looked at me and in a sarcastic tone told me, your father and I have been working for more than 25 years. For 1 year since we are putting business in. I was very shocked. I told, please understand this is a serious problem. She again was silent for a minute. Then she told, you know what? You just get up on time and go to sleep on time. Everything will fall in place. I was extremely frustrated with her. Right from my kindergarten till my office, for any problem I went to her, the only thing she used to say was, get up on time and go to sleep on time, everything will fall in place. But since she was serious about her suggestion, I thought, okay, why not give it a go? Why not try this? Dear Toastmasters, 5 years since she gave me this advice, I only wish I had followed her words sooner. This lovely advice of hers is what I propose here today. My proposal to all of us here who are working in a corporate environment is to left shift our working hours. What do I mean by left shift our working hours? I simply mean start your work early and wrap up your work early. And the most important thing is when you are done with your work, ensure that you look up at the sky and the sun is still there. Dear Toastmasters, one of the most important things I realized where I was going wrong in my first job was whenever I was done with my work, it was pitch dark. It was well into the night, and the only thing I could do after I went home was crash in the bed. I wondered why exactly was I doing this. Then I realized this is a typical student mentality which I had carried on from my college to my office. If I had 3 days before the exam, I would not be given enough. If I had 2 days before the exam, still it did not give me the drive to study. But that 1 day before the exam, suddenly I will become the most focused person, and I will not put everything on the line to ensure that I crack the exam. I thought this procrastination of mine had come into my work life as well. Whenever we work in long hours, we have this false sense of security that I have time. We think that I don't need to do this right now. I have time to do it. But actually the problem is by having that mentality, we tend to work for longer hours and we tend to lose our edge. I decided no matter what, I'm going to start early and I'm going to shut my laptop as soon as it's 5 p.m. What happened was 2 things. First was I was able to beat the Bangalore traffic because I started early. And that actually helped me in a huge way. I was able to be relaxed when I went to the office rather than thinking about the crazy cab driver who cut me across. The next important thing was after I finished my work, to my surprise, there was still sunshine outside. Then I realized that probably it was a very simple thing which all of us are trying to do. The trick is we need to have sunshine in our body. And of all the benefits of sunshine, one important thing which I saw was whenever we are under sun, there is an important hormone called serotonin which gets secreted. And this is very, very important for the mood we have and also it helps us focus. Now, what is the second thing I learned? The second thing was left shifting was I was able to have a calmer time before the storm. It was the calm before the storm, where people rarely bother you with any queries or any kind of questions because everyone tended to start late. Their work used to start at 10 a.m. My work used to start at 8 a.m. So these 2 hours was extremely important for me to ensure that I can get all my work done without anyone disturbing me. Dear Toastmasters, when I was young, my grandmother told me this famous story of this tortoise and the rabbit, and how the tortoise was slow and steady and it won the race because the rabbit was laid back and actually had the audacity to take a nap during a race and lost it. I still couldn't, even at that young age, I just couldn't understand this moral. I was like, how on earth can the rabbit lose to this tortoise? Now I realize probably all of us are these exact rabbits who rarely overestimate our abilities and tend to take too many breaks during our work time, and thereby we're losing our edge. Instead of being fast and consistent, being slow and steady is better. But even in being slow and steady, we are technically not being slow and steady. We are just slow. Just like the rabbit, what we need to do is wake up. And my proposal is very simple. You need to wake up for your dreams to come true, but just ensure that you wake up that bit extra early so that your dreams can be achieved that bit extra so that you have enough time under the sun. Thank you and back to you.
That was very accurate, but situation we all used to do and the story of the right argument. Thank you so much. Okay, next we're going to move on to the very exciting session of table topics, for which I would like to invite the Toastmaster Vaishnavi. Currently, she is pursuing second year BBA LLB. She is passionate about dancing and it is her where her soul is finding peace. Sports, climbing, running and trekking are something that gives her an adrenaline rush. She has completed her level 2 project 3. Over to Toastmaster Vaishnavi.
Does not shut you down. It wakes you up. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Today's theme is an inclusive package, complementing and available in all sizes and all age groups. And so, are today's table topics. Starting with before I start, I would like to give a disclosure. Today's table topic is a redesigned version. I shall not call out any of the table topic speakers' names. I shall move forward and give a firm handshake. And the people sitting around in this area, I will just give a tap on the chair, so do please be attentive. The first table topic is being optimistic about fear is the right way to avoid them.
Topic master, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. The question asked if I can understand properly. You
Being optimistic about fear is the right way to avoid them.
being optimistic is to avoid. In the question here, we are talking about facing a fear, but she's talking here something different angle, avoiding a fear. You know, one thing I really do not agree with your concept of avoiding fear, because fear ultimately is natural for a human being. You have to face it and overcome that. So I still remember, in my childhood, when we all learned, I belong to a small village in Kerala. And when I was all the 5-year-old, 6-year-old children, there is a temple tank, and we learn, we learn swimming. That the best way to teach swimming, all of us, small children, everybody afraid of water, deep water to get into that. There is an instructor there, one of them senior. What if you do not coconuts, dry coconuts that tie around you, start floating in water? They'll take all of us one by one and simply put it into water. So ultimately, to overcome fear, you have to jump into water. That is why in Toastmasters we learn by doing. Because the only way to learn speaking is by speaking. We can overcome only by coming behind the lectern and overcoming your fear. So being just optimistic, I do not know that may give us some additional strength. Yes, nothing will happen. And my instructor is there who will help me out. But ultimately, you have to face the fear yourself, and there is no other alternative. That's my take on the topic. Back to you, Ken.
That was a wonderful insight. Moving on to the next topic, a childhood memory of helping a friend face their fear. I repeat, a childhood memory of helping a friend face their fear.
Hello everyone, I am Sunushri. I am the teacher of education in Bhubaneswar, where I teach them quite often. The childhood memory of helping my friends face the fear. I have a huge fear that is dog fearing. I don't know the dogs very well. And I have a very distinctive memory of helping many of my friends face the fear because it is very often me receiving their help. To get save myself from other dogs or anything else for that matter. But amazing memory that I have helping my friend was my very dear friend in my childhood was Amrit, and he hated homework. He hated studying, and his most hated subject was English. And my mom was very grateful. I don't know how to help my family. And he was a great leader. But the sad part is, there is not more than we fought like him. And the only thing that was missing out in our great friendship was us fighting on the road, holding sticks or phones or whatever. So one particular day, we figured out, okay, let's help out each other. And I wanted my math homework to be done, and he was extremely good at math. And he wanted his Hindi homework to be done, and I was extremely good at Hindi. But the sad part is we forgot we have different handwriting. And it was easy for our parents to figure out that we actually did not teach each other, but we managed this copy. And even to this day, I have mastered this thing of great copies where I record all my classmates to copy their exams, copying all my previous assignments, probably something that is not advisable. And thank you.
As a student, I do understand that fear. Moving on to the next topic. Describe the feeling after facing your fear. I repeat, describe the feeling after facing your fear.
Thank you, David Master. Okay, describe the feeling after you face your fear. Well, you feel like you accomplished something big. Like the saying goes, it always feels impossible before it's done. And there are a lot of things I think we've achieved. So, yeah. So, I think goes back to school. So I was probably bullied by some, like a bully, right? So I was always scared of him, and one day, I took a couple of my friends and went together and probably beat him up. So that was a nice feeling after that. So I think this is something I think most of us can relate to. So yeah, what we feel is something that we've achieved, no matter how small it is. Like a lot of people have different kinds of fear, and for others it might be different. So yeah, the feeling is very nice and it feels good. You feel like you've done something good in life. Thank you. Thank you.
That was a very good insight. Moving on to the next topic. Pros of fear. I repeat, the pros of facing fear.
Bringing Toastmasters and yes, the pros of facing fear. Right? Pros have an advantage. The pros of facing fear, as our topic goes, face the fear, it goes. I think the topic itself has answered my thing. So obviously, if you want to conquer fear, you got to face it, you got to get over it, and then you learn something new, hopefully. And all of us Toastmasters, I think, face the same thing. First time before coming to the lecture, all of us are really scared of what is going to happen. And then somehow our mentor prods us and nudges us, and then we come here and stand before the lectern, deliver the first icebreaker, if I may call it. And then we, after the end of delivering it, I mean, it might be a lot of butterflies in the stomach while we are delivering it, but after delivering it and getting all the claps from our dear Toastmasters, and when we go back and sit, oh, it was not so bad after all, maybe I should come once again in second. So that's how it works. On the other hand, if you avoid giving your icebreaker, and I've known several Toastmasters, even without giving your icebreaker, they have maybe relinquished their membership and did not have the pleasure of coming here and deliver speeches. So that would be a very sorry thing to do. So I think moral of the story is come here, do your speeches, and then do a handshake again with the table topic master.
Moving forward to the next topic. Fear of proposing your crush. I repeat, fear of proposing your crush. Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. I think I have to go back to my memory lane when actually, to reframe, I've never proposed anybody. I've always been proposed to. I don't know whomever I felt. I'm talking about somebody hitting on you, right? Yeah. So it's fun to think of those days, as a young girl. All of us like to get attention from people around. And I was from a convent where we only had girls and guys and don't say lies and things like that. But later, I entered a college where we had co-ed and there were so many boys, and I was so fearful. I really didn't understand how to even have that friendship with a boy, because all my life I've only been around girls. I just had one childhood friend who was a boy, but we made him like a girl with us, come and be there. We had that kind of a vibe. When we entered college, when we would see a lot of people out there, I would see all the girls being proposed and all of that, but nobody would propose to me the first year of college because I looked like a tomboy, and I would if anybody comes close to me, don't touch me, and I would be away from all of them. So I remember I had a crush on one guy in my college. But it so happened after a couple of days that I was so scared to even say that I have a crush on him. I called him my brother. But it's after a few years that I realized that it's fun to, get being proposed. And I have never proposed, but I love the way people come down, write letters, and, pamper you, sing songs and all of it. And today I feel every girl loves to get the attention, and I so wish the only person I would propose today would be Vijay Deverakonda. So that is it. Thank you. That is also a dream. Moving further, the next topic. Fear on the dais. Fear on the diet. Present with the diet.
Thanks a lot for your topic, Master. Hello, fellow masters and guests. Fear or not. When I actually go on the dais, I am not scared that I want to speak in front of people, nor I'm scared what I might go and speak. But I'm scared of the small audience which are there. I feel there's too much attention on me. I'm not really scared when I go on a dais and speak in front of 100 people, and there's a small room with this lit four walls, all of them looking at you. It's when I actually feel I have been, everyone's eyes on me. Fear of dais. I was born in the US, and where I have seen a lot of kinds of fears which I faced. Personally, fear of dais did not happen to me at that point in time because I could say the culture which I was brought up in that place was totally different. And that is what is making me stand here, and also the way or the set of people I'm around with. All of these people have never, let me down in this way. I've always never had the fear of theirs. But once I came to Toastmasters, people say you lose the fear of theirs, but I got it back. To be very honest, I got it back. Today also, speaking here in my own college club will never be difficult for me, but speaking here in front of all the senior members will actually be. Right? So yeah, over to you.
Thank you for that wonderful take. Moving forward to the next topic. This is a long one. You're out with your friends for a trek. You need to pass a river to move ahead towards the peak. And you have acrophobia. So I shall repeat the topic again.
Good evening, Toastmasters. And my topic, I think most of you heard it, too long to repeat. And regarding that, I actually am scared of water. And from a very young age, my dad is a very good swimmer. While I think I got my mom's gene that I don't know how to swim properly. In fact, I'm very scared of water. Like until I the water is to my chest level, I'm fine with it. Once it goes above, I'm all floating over it. And I think recently, there was this incident, and I think I can relate it to that topic. Basically, we had this camp in our college where they teach us swimming, and for the first 3 days, I just didn't get inside the water. And after that, the instructor came and pushed me. Basically, at that point, I feel, I would ask someone who's accompanying me to just put me into the water, and somehow I think I would, easily find my way, because all of us, somehow find the way to all our problems in our life some or the other way. So with that, I would like to thank you so much for this.
When I started out as a kid, even I did have the same problem. And the swimming pool jump, I think, is the strategy used by every coach there present. So moving forward to the next topic, fear of losing someone is the greatest game. Fear of losing someone is the greatest game.
Good evening, Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and like me, other guests. The component fear is something, it grows. If we allow that to grow, it grows, it manifests, and it can even destroy your capabilities and your strengths. Extending the same this thing, fear can enter any platform. Losing a person I can relate that to my mother. Uh, she stayed for long and she had a healthy, long life. But still, when you lose a person with whom you are associated, you are groomed, and you are taught everything, A to Z in your life, then you lose such a person. It takes time and it is very difficult to get out of that. That is number one. And fear of losing somebody, a person who is your supporting you in your office, who's your batsman, a runner-up in your the other side batting, the person losing that slot 3 or 4, 5 or 6 also has some kind of a. As you know, the batsman doesn't request the coach not to unsettle him from batting number 3 or batting number 5. So they get used to that so much. Fear is a component that we have to get out, like we practice and perfect. Fear is something that it tries to get into you. No matter whatever you try to block and try to do, but the best part and the best fact is that you face it, conquer it, and demonstrate that strength that you can win. But losing a person, again, I come back to the topic, it is difficult, it takes time, and time is the healer, nothing but that. We are managed.
That wonderful day. Moving ahead, first day of college, meeting new people, facing new fears, new types, to be more honest.
Thank you, Master. Good evening, everyone. First day of college, I will tell you about my queue that was just after my 10th standard. Most of my friends took up science. I wanted to take up arts. My parents said compromise between the two, commerce. So I took commerce. Both my parents are commerce graduates. And hence, I had a choice, to join any college such as Christ, Jain, or anything. But I said, there's one near my house, BES, in Hanuman Nagar, so let me go and join that. First day of college, all my school friends are in different colleges. They're in Kumaran, they're in various other colleges. I am the only one in this college. I don't know anyone in that class. And one of the teachers, one of our accountancy teachers, she comes to class and she says, everyone will introduce yourself. I stand up, she asked me to introduce myself. Shiva Prasad, I scored 94% in 10th standard. Every teacher, same question. Why did you take commerce? And why this college? You could have gone to some other college. There were better colleges. I said this one is near to my house, that's why I joined. And of course, on the first day I met many wonderful people who are still friends with me to this day, closer to me than my school friends, people that I hang out with even to this day. Back to you, table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shilpa, for that. Moving forward, the most adventurous sport you have tried, which was of your before.
For the way of walking, spend like on an exam hall and immediately. Very good evening to all Toastmasters and all the guests present. Okay. The adventurous sports, I've tried many adventurous sports. The first one, in my childhood, I was always afraid of heights. Even in merry-go-round, they used to close my eyes and go to the top. Then eventually I got rid of this fear of heights and I gradually wanted to try paragliding. So, me and my parents had been to this place called Vagamon, it's in Kerala. And when you go during October, November, December times, it be the most windiest time. So that is when they conduct this activity. Before and after that, the activity will be closed. So, when as we went, it was a new place. We were just asking the resort person, is there any good places to visit, or any other, good places for us to enjoy. And he told me, this paragliding, paragliding was almost free spot. So it's like the cost around 1.5 to 2,000 per head. And it's like a lifetime opportunity. Be only for 3 months, and you're in the right place and you're at the right time. I'm like, okay, 2,000 is affordable, it's not a big amount. Okay, like, I'm like, Dad, I wanted to try this, let me just go for this. And we went, they took us to the top thing, and I could see some 5 people flying around in, in parachute. And I thought I should be doing it alone, but unfortunately that's not the case. There'll be some other person sitting behind and he controls. I'm holding the camera, I'm just so I'm like, okay, let me try this. And he told you'll be around 15 to 20 minutes in the air. That will be your lifetime experience. So let me go that not, let me decide lifetime experience. And we took off. And looking at that, my mom was like, I want to do it as well. And even she took off. We both were passing by having nice time. And I landed after 20 minutes. And my mother, that time there is no much wind. So the person who was controlling, he said, ma'am, you have to go one more round because there is no much wind to, land. So they took one more round and Dad thought she's not able to land, she's going away. Then I'm like, don't worry, she'll be back, nothing to worry, I'm there here with you. Then after one round, she landed, and when I looked at the video, that was, oh my God, that was one of the best videos I've ever seen. And when I showed it to my friends, eventually I thought I'd be scared of whatever was going around, but I was not. I was enjoying that fresh air in the place. And then like my friends were like, it's a very good place to enjoy. So that was one of the greatest adventures ever. I can back in
Mr. Gaurav, for sharing your valuable experiences. And I do share the same experience when my mother also had been stuck in the air. Actually, it was not my mother, it was me. And she was funny. So moving ahead, the next topic. DTM Emubat sir told about pros of fear. Now we will listen. Cons of fear from a very experienced.
I would like to share with you, if you do not know the names of the Toastmaster, this is the best method for calling me at the starting the hills podium. So thank you very much. I will sit on to my subject. Fear is not in my district. When if you fear, you cannot progress in your life. The best example is standing in front of you. I come from a village. I was not knowing how to speak in English. I do not know anything. But here I confront the fear. In 12th century, Lord Basaveshwara said, I hope many of the people know Kannada. ಹೆದರದಿರು ಮನವೇ ಹಿಮ್ಮೆಟ್ಟದಿರು ಮನವೇ ಹಿಡಿದ ಬಿಡಿದಿರು ಮನವೇ ಶರೀರರೆಂದು ಜಂಕಿಸದರೆಂದು ಶಸ್ತ್ರ ಸಮಾಧಿ ನೀತು ನೇನು ವಿಷ ಔಷಧದಲ್ಲಿ ಘಟವಾಗಿಡದೆ ಗುರುವಾದರೂ ಲಿಂಗವಾದರೂ ಜಂಗಮವಾದರೂ ಲೋಕದಂಡೆ ಕಂಡುಳ್ಳ ಪಶುಪತಿಯಾದರೂ ಶಕ್ತಿಗಳು ಕಂಡು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಘಟಕಂತಿರು ನಾನು ಬೇಡ. Don't you, why are you thinking? See, when you get here, if you are dishonest, if you are not straightforward. When I am on straight path, I don't fear. I go to the government office, I talk very plainly. Sir, why are you not doing this job? Sir? Let me know. What do you want? Please do it. Your younger people, generations are there, I will tell you, don't fear. Fear for the mistake what you do. When a person makes a mistake, 3 things will happen. Defend it, neglect it, accept and correct it. Which is the best one, my dear Toastmasters here? Accept and correct here. You will be reaching the pinnacle. Take it from me. I am a old man, a 75 years old. I am advising you. Be honest, be sincere, and be with God.
advice, we would like to close this session, taking back valuable lessons with amazing experience stories from facing the fear of doing the most amazing adventure sports to the first day of college, to the proposals from crushes. So we end this session. Thank you and back to it.
Wow, what a session of table topics. It had all the numbers, starting from proposing a loved one to losing a loved one, right? Fantastic. So before we move on to the next session, now it's time for a break of 10 minutes. So let us go. Thank you, sir. Welcome back. Welcome back to today's session. Okay, after the careful examination, now it's time for the result. That is the evaluation session, for which I would like to invite Toastmaster Shiv Prasad. He is a BCom graduate from Yale University, currently pursuing US CPA, a straightforward and intuitive person who is passionate about cuisine, world history, and geography. Over to
Once again, very good evening to my fellow Toastmasters and guests. Before I start off with my general evaluation, I would request all of you to take out your phones. The ballot has been sent out by our Sergeant at Arms, and I request you to vote for the best speaker and best table topic speaker. Leave the other categories. You can submit the ballot later on. Let's start off with the individual speakers evaluation first. We had two speakers today, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra and Toastmaster Balaji CS, both of them giving their level 3 project one. And I'd like to ask both the evaluators, DTM MU Bhatt and DTM Udanka, if you have received the project guidelines and resources in advance. Yes. So, let me invite DTM MU Bhatt for the evaluation.
Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests and Vijay Upendra in particular. Let me first congratulate to Mr. Toastmaster Vijay Upendra for the powerful and well-articulated speech on rethink, redesign, and rebuild. Congratulations on that. The persuasive speech is an important speech in Toastmasters. When you learn the persuasive speech, understand different types of persuasion, whether it's emotional, ethical, or logical, how we go about it. Select a topic and use any one of them. You are supposed to put more on logic side. I'll come to that later. But having said that, what I really let me come to what exactly I liked about your speech. Number one is you used the prior section. The opening was full of priors. There were about one prior in the opening. Topic itself was a sort of prior rethink, redesign, and rebuild. Again, conclusion, you ask the people to repeat that. No, it again is ended in the prior part. So that's a great thing to do. And we involve the audience. There's another sense what we applied today. Asking question one to, I think, one of the person and asking us to repeat that. That's good. And you dealt with the subject in, you introduced to the life challenges and how to deal with it. Three things you told about: the lifelong student, being a lifelong student, hard work, intuition. And you narrated 3 stories for that. One, the Kalji Taker, hard work, Sachin Tendulkar's expert advice from Dennis Levy regarding how he became batsman. And the cafe story, the time spent, somewhere near Kasturi Nagar and his time, based on intuition of the cafe owner, how he redesigned it. That came out very well, all the 3 stories, and finally told about the eternal conflict between the parents and children. How parents don't understand children, children don't understand how to resolve the conflict, how to use the rethink, redesign, rebuild concept in that. Excellent job done. So I don't have any comments on that, because obviously call for stories to be told, anecdotes to be said. You have done it amazingly well, wonderful. Having said that, let me tell you what exactly would have done different. This is what I would have probably done. See, the project called for either you can follow emotion or logic or ethics. I think anyway you are a master because you are a credible source for information. You do your research immensely, so you are an eminently credible person. There is no doubt about it. You use what I felt personally that use more logic than emotion today. You told about the 3 stories, then even the parents also that I think the logic came into picture. But I personally believe, with my experience, that in speeches, in persuasive speeches, it is the emotion that plays. When logic goes off, people will get moved by emotion. Not to talk about politics, you can see what's around happening around. Ultimately, your ability to persuade the people is to be going on more on emotion. That is one thing, probably only a suggestion I could give. The story, particularly the parent, student, your child, you could have perhaps twisted or changed in the emotional story. And what it will have been even more persuasive than what it was. But that doesn't take away the immensely well-researched, articulated project piece what you done delivered today. Congratulations on that. Take up your project as early as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, DG Menu, but evaluation, rightly pointed out, the speech was inspiring, well researched, and Postmaster Vijay Kendra also congratulations on a brilliant speech. Let's give a round of applause to both these speakers and the evaluator. I'd like to now call the second evaluator, DPM Vedanta.
Good evening, Martina and Professor Balaji in particular. I'll be validating your speech in 3 parts. Where you excel at, where you can improve yourself, and where you can challenge yourself. Coming to the good things first, you selected a topic to propose when every one can relate, or most of the audience here can relate, work life. Since everyone has to go through that phase, you really related to that. I've seen many speeches and many members give a speech related to their own life or personal life, giving that proposal only to their benefits, but we will not do that. When you came out of that and you gave a proposal that every one of the members sitting here in this room would be benefited, that point is did very well. Second, you started off with a thought that really caught the attention of the audience. Always we say thought or some story or something will always attract the audience interest first. You did that very well. And while you were delivering speech, you related the proposal which you related also related to some stories which everyone will have heard or everyone will know that story. Take an example, Toddlers in the Rampage. You took an example that and related to the proposal that was really making really good, making us understand what exactly we were trying to do. So slow and steady, if you stick on to slow and steady and if you stay slow, it might not help. So those points really help us understand what we're talking to. And me, especially being in a stage where I have to start my work life, that really helps me out. And for many youngsters here, it would definitely be a plus point. So these are the points you really excel at. Coming to the things you can work on, understanding that you are a seasoned Toastmaster right now, I'll be a little critical on here and the next one so I can do much better. I think you must have heard this in many of your evaluation years. There were uses of good words or good phrases like predominant or pre-pregnant connect. I could not really catch up that word because it was a little fast. So you were using a good phrases where we could others could note it on and use that. But because of your piece, it's slightly missed out with those. If you could work on that, it would be really great. And second thing, your project guidelines. You have met all the guidelines except one. Saying that even your project, you had to describe what your future enhancement is there. Like for example, saying you have proposed that what would be benefits if we take it if we implement this in our lives. It could help us out with that. Your proposal would be a better and perfect one. But it does not take away from the wonderful proposal you gave it to us. And congratulations, you have started your level and completed this project. Now, challenge yourself. There's only one point. I've seen many speeches or many hours behind the lecture. You have once seen vocal voice. You don't vary your vocal variety. So if you could vary your vocal thing, it would be really great because there were places where you could slow, come down or it could go up. There were places where you could do that. That would be really add on for your speech. With that, once again, amazing speech, amazing proposal, and thanks for proposing this. Many of us will be benefited by this. Thank you and back to the GE.
For that detailed evaluation. Rightly pointed out his strengths and of course, point about his space, which other evaluators have brought up before. Let us give a round of applause for Toastmaster Balaji and DJ. Coming to the general proceedings of the meeting today, the meeting commenced at 6:33 p.m. 3 minutes late, negotiable since we were waiting for a speaker and we are also doing this. Actually, not required for that all. Come to the business session, the president welcomed the dignitaries and vice president education, Toastmaster Gaurav gave update on the role for the next meeting. Also, I would like to reiterate, please go to your spam folder and mark his mail as not spam so that you get the agenda every week. Then we had the COTP update. All the executive committee members told what we had learned from the COTP there. Coming to the actual meeting, started off by our wonderful Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Sanjana H. You started off your speech directly by saying, I disagree with the team. Immediately grabbed everyone's attention there. Right? What does he want to say here? And you told us about your fear of dogs. Extremely relatable for me. Back in the day, I used to change the street. I used to go on the parallel street if I saw a dog was there somewhere. And I'm sure it is relatable for most people, unlike Toastmaster Gaurav here or some other dog lovers. The humor that you brought in, of course, gave a fresh start to everyone. Everyone was looking at you. You had everyone's attention. That is exactly what the Sergeant at Arms must do. And for that wonderful actress, Toastmaster Sanjana, let us give her a sounding round of applause. Also, let me point out the Sergeant at Arms has taken to a role like fish to water. Every week, it's been just 3 weeks in the new term. She comes here early, setting up the room. That board you can see it's filled up. Also, I saw that when there were extra members coming up, she was around setting up the chairs like a true Sergeant at Arms there. Sergeant at Arms introduced our President Toastmaster Lalana as usual. She was a dignified, a very stable, very calm self, and a wonderful address. Also, but however, I wanted to point out the story that you brought about, the criminal who was given 2 choices, everything. I feel that story is a bit common now. Most people are aware of that story. Take the news or choose freedom. I felt you could have gone for maybe a personal story rather than a generic story, and that would have made your address better. Also, as a presidential address, I expected a bit more commanding presence here. You to be a bit more louder when you gave the address. Speech was a bit short, is what I felt. Right? For the president, we would want you to set the tone for the meeting. And other than that, you gave your usual dignified and stable speech. Let's give our president a round of applause. President, I'm going to introduce our master of ceremonies for the day, Toastmaster Viveka. Toastmaster Zuleka, again, as related to the theme today, you have chosen a very practical theme at which is applicable to all our lives here. Fear, all of us have fear in some or the other aspect. And you brought about a story related to that fear. It almost seemed like because the story was there, you picked this theme. The master and the disciple story, wherein if you were scared of the monster grew bigger. If you're not scared, the monster grew smaller. Again, the same point that I raised with the president here, I feel this story has been used before by many other speakers, and this story it is a common story that many people use. You could have again brought in maybe a personal aspect to the story, right? Some fear that you faced, somewhere that you overcame. Maybe that would have connected better with the audience rather than again a generic story that is brought. Again, the same points as I had for the president. You could have been a bit more louder. You're the master of ceremonies, setting the tone for the meeting, bit more energy when you speak. Apart from that, you had a good introduction. You've done the job earlier. You've taken everybody's introduction. For that, let's give our master of ceremonies a round of applause. Master of ceremonies then went on to introduce a few role takers, the TAPG team for the day. And ironically, I saw she introduced the parliamentary procedure evaluator. He was here speaking, and while he was speaking, saying that don't talk when the speaker is speaking, please enter only during applause. Everything was happening there. Members were walking in and walking out. So I think we can avoid that in the next meeting. Let me now call upon our, let me now go on to our table topic master for the day. Toastmaster Vaishnavi, you had a brilliant introduction for table topics related to the theme today. And you have a loud voice, and I see that meeting after meeting, you're getting even more confident. I can understand what kind of a person you are. You have awkwardness, you have shyness, but I can see that you're overcoming all of that meeting after meeting. However, I felt that you missed out on telling what table topics is all about. Right? Why do we do this? And we have so many guests today, so for their benefit, you could have told that. And a very innovative way of giving out topics went on to everyone shaking their hands. I have never seen that anyone doing that before. That was very bold of you. However, a couple of members, they came here and they asked you to repeat the topic. We anyway have a projector today, which there are no members attending online except one person. You could have made use of that, made a PPT, and maybe it would have been more clearer for everyone to understand the topics. Also, the topics, coming to the topics, all the members were able to speak really well about it. Again, related to the theme, except the topic which you gave to me. Coming to the choice of members which you had for your table topics. You have given topics to 4 guests, and apart from that, you also gave a topic to DTMMU, but was an evaluator. I think the purpose of table topics is to give a chance for members who do not have an opportunity to speak during the meeting, especially the like Toastmaster Balaji, Toastmaster Sai Snail. They had no roles today, and even then they did not get a chance to speak. So you could have given those people a topic instead of people like the general evaluator here. Now it's time to call upon our. Let's give a round of applause for our brilliant table topic. Time to call upon the TAPG role takers first. Can I call upon Toastmaster Sarani, the time of the day?
Happy evening, everyone. We are going to time a report for today's meeting. The meeting commenced at 6:33, 3 minutes late. The business session went on to 4 minutes 18 seconds. Welcome by certain terms, that is by Toastmaster Sanjana, went on to 3 minutes 15 seconds. Presidential address by Toastmaster Lalana Murthy went on to 3 minutes 31 seconds. Introduction of Toastmaster of the Day went on for 32 seconds. The report in the previous meeting, that is reading of minutes of meeting, went on for 2 minutes 49 seconds by Toastmaster Shiva. Then came the MP Toastmaster Zuleka. She spoke for 8 minutes 40 seconds in total. Coming to the prepared speech session, we had two speakers today. Speaker Toastmaster Vijay Upendra spoke for 6 minutes 41 seconds. Speaker Toastmaster Balaji CS spoke for 6 minutes 51 seconds. The next session was the table topic session, which went on for 27 minutes in total. We had 11 speakers today, out of which no one spoke below 1 minute, and this denotes that we've all faced the fear so well and we've not avoided it. 8 speakers spoke about 1 minute and 3 speakers spoke about 2 minutes. The individual report for this session has been written on the board, and I request everyone to look at this. The next session was the networking session, which went on for 11 minutes 20 seconds. Coming to the individual evaluation session, DTM MU got evaluated for 3 minutes 31 seconds. DTM Udanka evaluated for 3 minutes 26 seconds. Now coming to the general evaluation session, it has gone for 9 minutes 30 seconds so far. Thank you, and back to general evaluator.
Very comprehensive report there, not missing out on anything. Also, the introduction that you gave when you were called upon, very innovative, attractive introduction, tick, 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 and all of that. So let us give a round of applause again for that. Next, let me call upon our account for today, Pavani.
Very good evening, everyone. So the report goes like this. Survey that arms Toastmaster Sanjana 1 and Toastmaster Lavana Murthy flawless. Toastmaster Zuleka 4 hours and repeated words 2 times. Timer Toastmaster Sharani Prasad 4 hours. Speaker Toastmaster Vijay Upendra was flawless. DTM MU Vatsa was flawless. Then DTM Udanka 4 hours and 1 in. And coming to table topic master, Toastmaster Vaishnavi 1 hour and 2 ins. Then Toastmaster Monish 1 hour. Guest Jivita 1 hour. Guest Toastmaster Aditya 2 hours and 1 ins. Guest Ravi Kumar 2 ins. Toastmaster Shiva Prasad 4 hours and 1 ins. Repeated words so and 2 times. Then let's everyone was flawless. Thank you.
All of ours and the shows there for me, that I guess that is what happens when you're doing general evaluation for the first time you're off. Thank you, Toastmaster Pavani, for that comprehensive report. Even in the previous meeting, I remember you were the Canadian, and even there you had put in a lot of effort. It was visible. Thank you for that. Let us get our kind of round. Now I'd like to call upon the grammarian Toastmaster Joe.
Toastmasters and guests. It was quite a very interesting speech session, and I was not able to get any not so good, except for this one. It was said as cricketing career. It could have been cricket career. Then the good usage was losing our edge, predicament, left check, false sense of security, calm before the storm. Fear is not in my dictionary. Reaching the pinnacle, try it and cogent. That's it, my report. Thank you, and back to the evaluation.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jyoti, for that deep grammarian report. I think you missed out on the word of the day there. Speakers have used the word of the day. Apart from that, you have noted down a lot of good usages. Thank you for that, Toastmaster Jyoti. Next, I'd like to call upon our parliamentary procedure evaluator, Toastmaster Bharat.
Great evening to fellow Toastmasters and the dear guests. As a PP evaluator today, I report that today there is nobody spoke about sex, religion, politics. Thank you all. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Balakrishna. There were a couple of discussions during the meeting. That also comes under your, so you could have said that there were phone ring and there were other problems. So no problem, you're a debutant role taker. So let's give Toastmaster Balakrishna a round of applause. With that, I conclude my general evaluation, and I have to quote at this point related to the theme. I have to quote superstar Rajinikanth from the movie Basha. It's okay to have fear in life, but fear itself should not become your life. Over to you, Master Sir.
Thank you, General Evaluator, PM Secretary, that completed the evaluation. And I'm sure after listening to so many topics and titles and about this year, our Toastmaster Sanjana would have got answer for her fear of dogs. No, if did not, then we all know about fear of success, failure, but there is something called fear of success also. When we try long enough, we can overcome that fear as well. That's a tip for you, Toastmaster Sanjana. And over to President Dr. Selvan. Thank you, Toastmaster Subheta. We had a great meeting today and the hall was full. It was really nice to see like we're back to old times and this was how it used to be like earlier. And then I think membership had slightly dropped the last 2 years during the COVID times. So it's nice, also nice to see the old members coming back like Sunita and Ravi Kumar, I think will join us back. We had 2 wonderful speeches. And again, Toastmaster P.S. Balaji back as usual being active and giving speeches. Really nice. And we also had a wonderful innovative table topic session, I should say. He truly created fear in the minds of the table topic speakers, like they were not sure who would be picked next. So wonderful session by Toastmaster Vaishnavi. And of course, the general evaluation session by Toastmaster Shweta. Are you doing it for the first time? Okay. It was a wonderful general evaluation session with Toastmaster Shweta. Yeah, like you say, it's really different when you come and speak in front of so many people in the offline session. Like we were in our comfort zones, sitting in the comfort of our homes in front of our laptops. Earlier, I felt it was pretty easy, and even I am finding it like taking little time to get used to all this, and especially my president's role as well. And your evaluation session was on top, I should say. He brought out all the points that needs improvement. So a wonderful round of applause to General Evaluator. Coming to the feedback, I request our members to go to Pathways Base Camp and give your feedback to the role takers and speakers. And please message them and tell them about it. Otherwise, they may not check their Pathways Base Camp and they may not know about the feedback you have given. And also, I request the role takers and speakers who have received the feedback to also acknowledge there only in the base camp so that like they're aware that their feedback has been received well. And we had a lot of members attending today, and some of them left during the break session. In spite of that, we have had 26 members who have submitted their votes. I think that's really good. And coming to the winners of today's meeting, the best role taker MPG goes to Toastmaster Shiva Prasad. The best role taker TAPG goes to Toastmaster Sharan. The best evaluator goes to our one and only veteran Toastmaster DTM MU Bunch. The best table topic speaker is our one and only Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa. And coming to the best speaker, it's been going up and down between the two speakers. It was almost equal. And now it's Toastmaster Balaji who gets the ribbon. I would like to conclude with this quote from Mary Curie. Nothing in life is to be feared. It's only to be understood. I now close meeting number 1172 and request everyone to raise for the national anthem. Come here for a group photograph, please.
More and more challenging for without have to take it.
Okay, both there.